For your information, there's a lot more to
MK11
ogres than people think.
Example?
Example? Okay,
MK11 players.
ogres are like onions.
They stink?
Yes. No.
Oh, they make you cry?
No.
Oh, you leave them out in the sun, they get all brown, start sprouting little white hairs.
No. Layers. Onions have layers.
MK11
Ogres
players.
have layers. Onions have layers. You get it. We both have layers.
Welcome. Today we are going to go over the many layers of MK11 offense. Hopefully this tutorial will show you how the game is played as you go through higher and higher levels of play, and will give you a direction on where to go and what to practice if you want to get better at the game. If this video helps, please give it a like, and feel free to leave questions or any topics you would like me to make a video on in the comments below. Without further ado, I hope you enjoy the video. Layer 1 is the most basic, fundamental level of Mortal Kombat. Doing a string of buttons, otherwise known as a combo, and attacking your opponent. At this layer, if a string is blocked, both players generally understand that their turn is over, and offense switches sides. Assuming no grabs or jumps are used, this cycle could theoretically repeat itself until one player dies, though this is obviously unrealistic. Layer 2 is the act of adding a special move onto the end of a string, otherwise known as special canceling. This layer is often picked up very fast, and is the main basis for combos and damage in Mortal Kombat. In almost every case, special moves can be added either on hit or block, so if an attacking player is not careful, they can cancel into a very unsafe special move and get punished as a result. However, using special moves while attacking a blocking opponent has far more importance at a higher level as a key way to catch an opponent off guard, especially when it comes to canceling into a special move from a down one. Here is an excerpt from my stream that explains this.
1, 2, 3 is special cancelable at the very last hit. So you can do something like this. Now normally that's a terrible idea, especially at the lower level, because if they just hold block, you turn a string which is -6, which is safe on block, to I think probably like what, -16 or so? -20 actually, that's even worse. So before you're safe, now they can run up and actually get a crushing blow on you.
Safe.
So it's very risky to do that, especially at the beginning level, but the fact of adding on a special move to the end is getting very close to what makes Mortal Kombat Neutral so unique, because what can happen is, let's have him do this. Okay. So let's say I do that, right? Let's say I call out that he's gonna try and do 1, 2, 3 again, and I get the punish instead. However, let's see what happens if I try and do that the second time. Notice how I got hit. Even though I'm mashing, and actually, as a matter of fact, I'll even do down 1, which is my fastest move, just in case. And I get hit. So that's where this whole thing comes in, is because I think he's going to just try and, I don't know, try and take his turn back. Or let's say I think he's done doing offense. He's just going to do 1, 2, 3 and he's done. But if he throws in that dragon kick at the end, I let go of block to take my turn, but he's not done doing moves yet. So I end up getting hit, I take damage, and I also lose my turn. Or neutral gets reset, depending on what kind of move gets hit.
Layer 3, staggering, is the real meat and potatoes of MK11, and it is what makes this game so much fun for me. Staggering is when you input some of the buttons of a combo string without finishing the string. The primary purpose of staggering your attacks is to throw off your opponent's timing and reactions, allowing you to attack them for much longer than you normally should, or sneak in a throw for unblockable damage. The gimmick of staggering revolves around the opponent having to guess when your character is going to stop attacking. If they hold block while expecting you to complete a string and end your turn, the defending player will have a very hard time trying to go on the offense against an attack player who staggers their attacks. Here is an excerpt from my stream that explains this.
Once you get to layer 3, you start exploring what the actual game is about, and that is staggering strings. I expect the 3 from 1, 2, 3 to come out. I expect the kick to come out. What happens if I just do this? I'm stuck here blocking, waiting for the kick to come out. Oh wait, it never came out. And since I'm stuck blocking, anticipating the last hit of 1, 2, 3, if I never do 1, 2, 3, if I just do 1, 2, that means by the time he reacts to me just doing 1, 2, he would have already been blocking for so long that I can steal my turn back. So if you call out, if you think he's going to do a stagger, but he does back 1, 2, 4, the 2, 4 part of the string is going to hit you. And this string is also special cancelable. So even if you think, if you call out correctly, he does back 1, 2, 4, it's still not over because you still have to anticipate if he might throw a low fireball at the end.
Layers!
Layer 4 is staggering a string into down 1. This one is fairly simple and straightforward. The primary reason you would want to throw a random down 1 in between staggers is because it changes up the rhythm of your pressure. It's also very rewarding on hit, because if they do not block afterward, they are pretty much guaranteed to get hit by anything you do. Additionally, if they block the down 1, they also have to guess if you will throw a special move out or not, which references back to layer 2. Some characters can do this very well, such as Kano.
Layer 5, staggering into block. Now this one is kind of dumb at first, is because the whole point of staggering is to try and take your turn back while the opponent is blocking. But here's the thing. If the opponent calls out your stagger, you as an offensive player have the ability to call out their call out that you're staggering. As long as what you're doing is actually safe enough to block with. So if I do, what I'll do is 1, 2 into block. Look at that. I called out his stagger correctly. Here's a problem. He just blocked. My down 1 on block is -5. What this means is that at this distance, Liu Kang on his side, no, oh shit, actually, I fucked that one up. Let's say I do, look what happens. Notice how I got hit. If I do this, I get fucking hit. Okay, I fucked that one up. So, since I blocked my down 1, since he blocked my down 1, unless you make a very hard read on a high or a throw, if Liu Kang does a mid after that, it's basically guaranteed. So if I try and down 1 out of his string, out of his stagger, and he just decides to block instead, I just lost my turn by trying to take my turn back. Now he's free to do back 1, forward 4, whatever the fuck he wants, and I just have to hold it. So that's layer number 5, is that even while you're on offense, at any time, you can just hold block. And unless they decide to do like a big brain grab in the middle of your stagger, if they try and down 1 poke you out of your stagger, but you're blocking, they just lost their turn. So you can... It's very, very interesting. Instead of having to steal your turn back, you can force the enemy player to make them lose their own turn if you call out their bullshit right. And again, we're on layer 4, or I'm sorry, layer 5 right now. And now you see how all of these mind games compile and compound into more and more and more mind games. Because you can do stagger, you can complete the string, you can do string into special move, you could just do some string into block, you can do string into block, you can do string into another string, you can do string into, I mean, there's just mind games upon mind games upon mind games. If they block this shit and they just hold block, you can do a throw. It's unbelievable. And we're not even done yet. There's still 3 more layers to go. So the next one, this one is big. This one is big boy. So, and this is probably at this is the layer that I'm at, and it is the most satisfying thing to do in the entire fucking game, because this is the hardest, one of the hardest reads you can do, and it is so fucking rewarding because it just feels nice. So here's the thing. Liu Kang's 1-2-3 is -6 on block. Here's the cool thing about that. Since it's safe, I can end my string and go immediately into neutral crouch or block, and I'm still safe. So why would you want to do a neutral crouch versus blocking? Blocking literally blocks their moves. If you do neutral crouch, you can get hit. Here's the thing. In Mortal Kombat 11, your fastest button, aside from a down 1, is going to be your stand 1 or stand 2. This is the fastest way to get your pressure in offense going. And it's often the best way to get into combos for Liu Kang doing 1-2-3. 1-2-3 is his highest damaging, or one of his highest damaging special move, or strings into special moves. If you neutral crouch, their high button will whiff. And if you do 1-2-3, and say reversal mode on, let's see, look what happens. What the hell? See, here's a good example. He's trying to reversal throw, but he gets hit with the 3, so that applies back to layer 2. If he's trying to reversal my 1-2, the 3 will hit him. Similarly, if I do that, he gets hit. Now, what happens if I do this? See what happens? Oops, that was a mistake. If I neutral crouch, his throw whiffs. Now, let's say I do... I don't know if I'll be able to do this. Let's say custom reversal. And we're going to record the custom reversal. Okay. So, oops. Is this not... Okay, that's not safe enough to do. So, see what happens? If he tries and interrupts my stagger, or if he tries to take his turn back without having to do... Okay, let me rewind a little bit. So, you might be asking, okay, if I do a string, why the hell, if I think he's going to try and take his turn back, or if I think he's not going to block, why would I not just do down 1? Down 1 is mid, so you can't neutral duck it, and it's also very fast. And it's plus a whole lot, so you can get your turn back for free as well. Here's the issue. Like I said before, if you do a down 1, you lose your turn. Basically guaranteed. As long as they have a fast mid, you lose your turn. So the issue with doing a down one is that even though, yes, it would beat the majority of options if they try and neutral duck, if they block, you just lost your turn. And now you're back on defense if the player is competent and has good enough buttons. So there's a high risk. So what some players will do is if they think you're going to block after a string, they'd much rather just do a high because they can stagger the high, or they can just complete the string and yada yada yada. So, and the reason why this works, some players don't know this. If you, let's see, normal duck. If you duck in this game, oops, let's see, stance, hold. If you duck in this game while blocking, highs normally whiff on ducking opponents, but if you duck block, highs are now considered special mids. And even though the move is a high, it will still hit you. So that's why some players, if you do a string, they would much rather just go back into doing stand high pressure versus doing a down one. If you do down one, I lose my turn. If you block my 1-2, I'm -2, and now I can do mind games with you. Or if you just block my stand one, I'm +4. Now I can guaranteed get a mid or whatever the fuck I want. So that's why a lot of players at the higher levels, if you do a string and they successfully guess that you didn't stagger the string, they'll often try and go into high pressure versus doing a down one, because down one, even though it is a good option, it also has its risks, because if you lose your turn, they could reversal throw, they could get their turn back by doing mids. But here's the thing, it goes even deeper than that. It's because his second hit of his string goes out too fast. There we go, I did it. Alright, cool. What I just did was called a micro duck. Dragon made a tutorial on it. Go check out him, because he's a lot better than I am. If you do a micro duck, if you're fast enough with the timing, instead of having to just do down 2 and waste your crushing blow, oops. Let's say he has full defense meter, and then he just breaks out and you waste your best crushing blow. So instead of just getting a down 1, if you micro duck, if you micro duck, if you micro duck, you can literally duck under their high and counter with a high of your own. And Liu Kang can get all kinds of shit. He can get like 20% off of his 1, 2, 3. Or if you're a different character, you can get even more. Like if you're Scorpion and you correctly, you can do 1-1 into Spear and meter burn that for a combo, or 1-1 into Teleport. So that's where neutral ducking comes in, is because if they try and reversal throw, or if they try and reversal high, they're getting fucked.
Layers!
And you can take your turn back for free. So, and that happens at a higher level much more than you would think. Now here's the thing. If you are like Liu Kang and you have a fast mid, you can bypass this. Because instead of reversaling with 1, 2, 3, you can reversal with back 1, 4. Or back 1, 2, 4. Okay. See, look, I'm neutral crouching, but it's not working anymore. It's because he's doing a mid. You cannot crouch a mid. So Liu Kang can bypass this issue very easily, because he has a 9-frame mid. If you're a character like Kotal Khan, or Scorpion, or any other characters that don't have fast mids, they only can do a down 1 or a stand 1. And if you go for a stand 1, you have the risk of getting down 2'd. If you go for a down 1 and they block it, you lose your turn. So if you have a fast mid, this situation isn't nearly as scary. But here's the thing that is scary. This is layer 7, which is stagger into backdash. Now, assuming I can get this correctly, watch what happens. Fuck. Whoa, shit. Saw what just happened, right? You gotta be kind of quick with it. And you just lost 35% of your health because I called out correctly. Liu Kang's fastest mid, back one. So let's see. This is -6. So I guess in this case, Liu Kang could also do forward 4. Let's see how that works. Okay, this one doesn't work nearly as well because it has more range. Yeah, I can't. I cannot. There's nothing I can do. So -2. So Liu Kang's 1-2 is -2. That is his safest string he has, aside from I guess actually this works. But he's not blocking low. God fucking damn it. But he tries to interrupt, so that doesn't really work. Yeah, okay. So 1-2 is basically his safest thing. So if Liu Kang does forward 4, it wouldn't work. But if he tries to do back 1, if I have the correct timing. Oh wait, that's why it's not working, because he's fucking doing dumbass. So this is where the 7th layer comes in. You can do a string that leaves you safe and backdash if they try and do a mid string out of it to try and call you on your neutral crouch. Because if you do a mid, whether they block it or whether they neutral crouch, it doesn't matter. If they block it, they're still going to get hit. And they have to take your pressure because you can start staggering. If you neutral crouch, they get hit literally, and you can do damage to them, or you can go into a combo, etc, etc. So a lot of characters, if they can, if you do a string, they're going to try and always reversal. They're going to try and take their turn back with a mid. However, if you're safe enough, you can actually backdash out of their range and whiff punish them. On Liu Kang, this is easy to do because his back one has very short range. On other characters, it can be a bit tougher, like Jackie or maybe Jax, but you get the point. And it's hard for Liu Kang because this isn't Liu Kang's style. Liu Kang, he doesn't want to backdash and whiff punish you. A character like Spawn, for example, or Kotal Khan, they love doing that because they have very long-ranging moves. That's something Spawn players do a lot, is they'll do a string, they'll do like 3-4, the little spike, and backdash, make you whiff a button, and hit you with back 1-4. Oh no! The very last one, which I'm not all that great at. And this is stringed into flawless block. What I mean by this is, one of the things you'll notice about this game is that there are pretty much 2 constants. Almost every single character in the game has a 7-frame down 1 and a 7-frame stand 1. This is super important because remember, when you block low, you block both highs and mids and lows. So if something is 7 frames, whether it's a high or a mid, down 1, it doesn't matter. You're going to block it. The important thing is that since these both start up on the same time, you flawless blocking either of these options is exactly the same. And remember what I said, if you don't have a fast mid, the only way to get out of stagger pressure effectively is doing a down 1 or a stand 1. Here's the fucked up thing. This layer 8 is when I consider this the layer of despair, because if you go against an opponent who's good enough and has practiced enough Since most of the characters in the game have 7-frame down ones and 7-frame stand ones, if you can master your flawless block timing, if you have the meter, they literally cannot do shit. It's fucking hilarious. And it's actually scary how effective it is. Because you can effectively make their options literally none. Zero. Just completely negate all their options. And like they literally have to sit there and consciously think, do I even want to press a button here? This motherfucker is -6. I should have my turn back, but if I press a button, I will get flawless blocked and launched for a combo. Now, of course, this doesn't apply if they don't have the meter, but assuming they do.
Every character has different flawless block attacks, so knowing the range and startup frames of each one can play a big part in determining what you can and can't punish. Also, it is important to note that some attacks have follow-up that are too fast for an up 2 to launch through. So when in doubt, your safest option will always be up 3, since they are invincible to all attacks and most are safe on block. However, be extra careful against characters who have parries, because a cheeky attempt at stealing turn back with a flawless block attack can have disastrous consequences.
Because I literally just started doing this right now, and actually it came out a lot better than I thought, and it's a lot easier than I thought. It'd be different online, but that's layer number 8. It gets to the point where if I do back 1, 2, 4, I mean the bot's gonna do it anyways. If I do back 1, 2, 4, you're like, what the fuck do I do? Is he going to block? Is he going to neutral crouch? So like, let's say, okay, he does back 1, 2, 4. I'm going to down 1. But what happens if he blocks? I lose my turn. Okay, instead I'm going to do stand 1. What happens if he neutral crouches? I'm going to get down 2 crushing blowed. What happens if he throws a special move at the end of the string? Well, I just stopped blocking. I'm going to get hit by it, and I'm going to lose my turn. What happens if I try and poke back and I get flawless blocked? And then he fucking hits me, and I not only take damage for trying to poke him, I also lose my turn, and he gets to do all of his shit over again. And at this point, you're thinking, literally, all of my options I can do are fucked. He has an answer to every single one of them. And my only reliable option of mashing buttons can get flawless block reversaled, and depending on the character, you can flawless block up to them, and they get launched for a full combo. At this point in the game, you're like, literally, what the fuck do I do? Every single button I press can get flawless blocked and fucked. So then you just hold block, because you're literally trying to think, which option do I do, and which has the least amount of consequences in this situation. But while you're thinking of that, I'm just over here. I'm going to turn off custom reversal for just a bit. While you're thinking of that, I'm just going to keep doing this again. Oh shit, and actually, while you're doing that, hey, I might be just stagger a little bit. Or you know what? Maybe while you're blocking, I'm just going to fucking throw you. The mind games in this game, when you accurately get them done, they compound and they compound and they compound and they compound.
Layers!
And you go from playing chess to playing Grandmaster fuck, did I say chess? You go from playing checkers to playing Grandmaster chess. Very, very, very quickly. And now this game has a very high skill gap when it comes to the uppermost layers. But once you start practicing that, and once you get good in that, the game evolves into something that I never would have thought I'd see come out of a NetherRealm game. And I don't know if I'd be able to go back at all, because playing this game, while it can be frustrating because certain characters do this and that and whatever, the way you beat an opponent is not by exploiting some heebie-jeebie bullshit. And now, again, there are examples of this, like Shiva Stomp, Cetrion Zoning, etc., etc., etc. The way you beat an opponent is by literally out-fundamentaling them and out-big braining them. You literally, every play you make can become a 5-head play, can become a 5-head read. And there's so many dynamics just simply off of blocking 1, 2, 3. There's so many options you have to consider after that. Is he going to flawless block me? Is he going to neutral crouch? Is he going to throw a special move out at the end of the string? Is he going to low fireball? Or, depending on the character, let's say I'm playing this version of Liu Kang. What happens if he does 1, 2, 3 and then throws out his fucking parry at the end?
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, or if I'm playing this version of Liu Kang. Yeah, so, like, if I make the right read and I think you're going to poke out, if I have a bar of meter, I mean, I just did 30 fucking % of your health, 33% of your health. So, yeah, ouch. And if I'm playing this version of Liu Kang, guess what? Now, on top of all of this fucking mind game bullshit pressure, I have a fucking command grab. And guess what? My best mid, back one, that I can literally just stagger the shit out of and keep you guessing forever. Yeah, guess what? Hold on, let me keep him fucking, stance hold. This shit tick throws! Even if you're blocking, you have to worry about him fucking opening you up. Or you can just do 1, 2. Bam. Stand 1. Bam. Oh, hey, 1, 2. Down 1. Bam. I mean, just, there is like a bajillion mix-ups based off of what the characters can do alone. Then you start throwing in their moves, and once you have characters with command grabs that can tick throw you, it becomes an absolute nightmare for being on defense in this game.
Layers!
But this game has so much big brain moments and just so many different facets to it that you have to keep considering. And that's why personally I absolutely love this game. And I think pressuring people in this game is so much fun, because if your pressure fails, it's not because of some bullshit. It's because they just literally outplayed you. If your defense fails, it's not because you didn't guess low correctly and you lose 80% of your health because of it. It's not because you didn't block overhead and now they get a free 30% combo. It's because you legitimately were just outread. They out-intelligenced you. And that's all there is to it. There's no autopilot overheads, there's no autopilot lows. Some characters do have them, but this game makes you work for your victory. And that's why I love it, because every time I beat someone, mostly just my friend, because I don't really play online, or I haven't played online for a while anyways. Whenever I have the opportunity to beat someone, I feel like I literally beat them. I outclassed them, I outsmarted them, etc., etc. I don't feel like I relied on any gimmicks to get me the win. Like, there's Shiva. Yeah, you can be an asshole and just use her. But I'm talking about when I play Liu Kang or Kotal Khan, while some of the characters do have kind of just brain dead offense, at the very least, at least when it comes to Liu Kang, I feel I have to work to beat my opponent. And when I do, I feel like I legitimately, it was me that beat them, not my character. So hopefully all of this made sense. I know it's been a very, very long video. I'll try and cut it down as much as I can to make it as short as possible whenever it goes on my channel. But yeah, please feel free to leave anything in the comments, whether you're confused about or whether you want me to maybe go more in depth on, or if you maybe have any other ideas and want to just leave them there, because I have a decent amount of free time and I'm always willing to do new stuff. So thanks again for watching and have a good one.